Hi, I'm Andrew Bartlett, and we're going to do a commentary on the film. We've got Peter and Jonathan here as well.
This one, Andrew just set the dolly up by the road and took the shot. We didn't really want it to rain.
No, because we'd been hoping that it wouldn't rain, and it did. And so this shot, Peter stuck the dolly up just real quick, and it added a lot to the beginning. Silence. Okay. Now
you see here that we're not zooming in, we're actually on a dolly rolling.
Okay, this shot we were using the crane in the back of the pickup for that quick shot of the bike going by.
Yeah, we had the camera way down by the road, and so we tested it first with mine because Hannah didn't want to trust it with hers at first.
And this is interesting because Caleb, or Doug, is the stunt man, and you'd think he would have been able to throw us off, but somehow between the two of us we were able to hold him down.
Yeah.
Oh, and the rain gear and army stuff, and then the suit that Mitch is wearing there, that all came from a friend of ours at the air base. So that was pretty handy.
And the pickup, actually, the red pickup that we put the machine gun on.
This entire film was pretty much shot on our property here in northern North Dakota. This was on the road that borders our 160 acres.
You see his legs fly.
Yeah, the one of those takes I flew with him by accident. Now this shot here was filmed at Kenny's place, in their barn or something like that.
A few months later.
Right. Yeah. And then, yeah. So the radio guy, that is actually me. I tweaked my voice a bit on Audacity, and it sounded pretty realistic. Okay, so see, he's pulling up. This we had probably about 30 feet of track or so. We put it right along the edge so we could keep kind of going a little bit along.
This was the first ADR that I'd done too. It took me a long time to do my lines over and over because at first I was trying to watch my mouth on the video and then try to match it up, but eventually I just had to memorize the spacing of the words and everything and then just record it that way.
There's the use of my shoulder mount. Keep it from wobbling too much.
Did you feed the chickens that morning?
Yeah, this was afternoon, so I had already done chores, but I had to do them over again.
Yeah.
They still look like they're happy to eat.
Yeah, and so all the sound effects and everything, we had to re-record them. So anything you hear is not actually from the video. So even the grain coming out of the bucket handles, the chickens, and the talking, and the birds were all added.
Well, and this shot here was shot several weeks later.
This shot was a bit weird.
Awkward.
Yeah.
And by the way, the electric fence is off.
Yeah. And so she goes in right now, and then she comes out quite rapidly with the basket full of eggs.
And they didn't break.
Right. I mean, it was just piling them in as fast as you could go. There you go. There's my artwork there. We had a hard time figuring out the name because whatever name we could come up with for a bad film was already made into a film.
We didn't want to advertise.
Right. Yeah.
So hopefully they don't get ideas from our movie.
Right.
Wasn't that a band?
Oh yeah, it was
band.
a rock band of some kind, but we figured it would be as a film context. It would probably, and the logo and everything is different. So.
Now this was an important scene in the film because it really explains the gist of the point of our movie, in that Doug needs to learn that he's supposed to be using his talents for God's glory. Since he's a stuntman, then he needs to find wherever that fits him best with God's plan, rather than trying to just do it his own way.
And then here is a dolly shot using the dolly, the curved dolly.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of added just a different, rather than having just stationary tripod shots or something. A little bump there.
This was getting towards the end of the day, and everybody was tired of filming.
We shot it a lot of times.
Yep. And then after that, we went and filmed the end scene. So he's supposed to be kind of not sure.
The wind was a problem, so we tried using an umbrella to block the wind, but all of that audio there was ADR later.
Same here. Audio was added. And then this was filmed. Was it the next day? Can't remember. But it was kind of raining off and on and off, and sprinkling in between.
We are building our house, by the way.
Yep. My famous line.
Yep.
Let's see all the pack.
The lighting here is
pretty
tough.
Yeah. Well, because we don't really have any lighting equipment, and we didn't really try that hard either. We probably
used flashlights.
Yeah, that didn't work either. And then having the window in the way didn't help anything either.
Oh, you have to watch the transition of the AK throughout the movie, too. It's interesting because the front cover of our DVD has Doug with the AK, but here I start out with it. And then, of course, throughout the movie, you see how Greg gets a hold of it and shoots it, and then I get a hold of it again, and then it gets passed off onto Doug finally.
Just for the end scene, so he can hold it up.
It was just kind of a cool prop.
Basically, yes. It started out that Doug owned it, and then somehow it got messed up. So this here was filmed at friends of Kenny's place, actually, because we wanted it to look somewhat like an apartment.
We weren't able to ADR this because Caleb had a cold.
And it was, 3 days or so before the deadline, probably, to enter it in the San Antonio Independent Christian Film Festival. And so
he tried doing it with the cold, but it just didn't seem worth it.
No, it didn't sound that great. So here, he's kind of not sure.
I like the pink on the top of the dresser.
Yeah. And then it's amazing how that picture on the wall on the calendar just happened to be placed right within. And notice that the clock is off.
Oops.
Probably because I don't know what time of day it was.
After Effects, you could put something on it.
Alright, yeah.
Oh, by the way, look at the date on the calendar. October.
Oh, yeah.
If you look on the
End scene, it's May.
Yeah.
So there he notices that it's, what is it, the next, is it the next day that the movie set? Or no, it's the day after.
He's supposed to be there on
the
Friday.
day after this.
Friday, right?
Right, yeah. And so there he is, his certificate from graduating. And if you notice, it's Mitch O'Brien's signature on the top of that. I mean, it's not really supposed to be necessarily, but we needed some signatures that looked somewhat realistic.
Here's the big decision. Plot point number 1 as we transition into the second act, which of course I didn't know anything about when I was starting to write this.
Yeah. And Benjamin did a great job with the music there as well. Kind of gave it a building feel. And it's kind of the same style as the climax.
You see Caleb's stunt armor there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
He
And
has to grab the key book.
Yep. And he's on his way out. Now this shot was actually shot during the
guard scene.
The guard scene, right? Yeah. This one here is using my universal camera mount with a suction cup that go on the window. Now the guard scene here. This is on the dolly, once again.
Oh, and it was actually not the real actors driving there.
Yeah, Jonathan driving the car, and then Hannah was driving the Suburban. And I like the music here as well. It's kind of a spy type sound to it, so sneaky. So an ID10T, if you write it down, if it looks like it's writing out idiot. And so Kenny's thought of that as kind of a funny thing that probably nobody would ever notice anyway, but something that we could talk about in a commentary and then people would find out about it. So.
Oh, and now this road here, that's our road. It was washed out for quite a while this spring, but then they still had to block it off. And now the brochure too, that's based off a real FBI brochure, only we changed it around a little bit.
Rushdoony, wasn't there?
Rushdoony,
Swanson,
Phillips, yeah. And let's see, this one was shot a different day as well. So you notice it's a bit rainy.
That
outside.
rain is where the water came from that covered the road.
Right. And here comes our guard a day later. He's been running. Well, it's not supposed to be a day later. But...
And now those clouds are gone too.
And it's a nice sunny day. But
exposure was kind of bad there.
Yeah, I should have been paying attention more. I think one of these I was actually riding in the car with Caleb. You didn't notice though. Or actually my camera mount was in the window. So here he's trying to persuade the guard that that just let him through. And he is kind of hesitant because they want him to stop.
Now we had some questions about this scene afterwards because, as you see farther into it, the bad guys, originally we wanted them to be portrayed as starting the fight, but the way it turned out, we kind of started the fight a little more, and so...
We just didn't have the bad guys looking as bad enough as we
right,
should.
In terms of biblically, you should be defending yourself and not necessarily attacking. So we should have waited until Mitch more clearly was for sure going to kill those people, and so then Greg would have to come out.
But see, the thing was, though, he didn't... It was supposed to be that Mitch was going to shoot every last one of them that he saw.
But it wasn't
and so
portrayed
then Greg,
clear enough.
Right, and so Greg throws the rock or whatever it was and then
But
distracts his attention.
So why did
and
Greg
jumps
get
on.
out ahead of time when he wouldn't have known that?
Yeah. And there it is
the key
again.
book. You see the nice dust cover.
Oh, and the shadow of the...
We had to do that just so we didn't...
That's a different book right there, by the way.
Every time Peter would rip out pages, it would go to the pictures in there, and Kevin Swanson's book doesn't have any pictures, so we had to rip all the pictures out first.
Yeah. And now Greg's got the gun, of course. The smoke is actually, on all the guns, it's made in Blender, and then just put over top there again. And that shot was a bit fakey because I jumped forward
I like that.
and then I
That was
jumped
my
back.
favorite shot.
Yeah. There again, smoke
fake,
from Blender.
Fake machine gun.
Oh yeah. Repeating the same shot more than once. And now the climatic fight begins. Hits the sign. We'd originally tried to do some makeup stuff, but it just didn't look
We used
good.
ketchup for blood. It didn't really look good. I like that.
Yeah, that was kind of a something we thought of kind of late.
That was Daniel's.
Oh, there's a prop.
Yep.
Yeah, holding up the roadblock.
Oof,
I'm holding my breath there.
Yeah, it was cold. Peter fell in once by accident, and then we had to shoot it again. So, like you notice, let's see in a minute. Right here, they're already wet.
I wouldn't recommend leaving your rifle like that, because what if the guy came alive and grabbed it?
Right. Because what if David is just or the sergeant is just pretending, then dump the guy on top of it? And yeah.
Better be oiled.
Right. And so now, Doug has the gun. Oh, there's the crane in the background by the Suburban there.
Yep.
You can see...
Far left.
Right, yep. Right in the left there, you can see the crane. And they're leaving the scene of battle, going through the water.
It just looks neat splashing.
Yeah. We didn't intend that at first. And this here was a crane shot, too. Gave it kind of a dynamic...
You see everybody setting up the tents back there.
And we've got Doug writing the second Mayflower.
That was actually the Excelsior 3-ring binder with all the storyboards
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
like when he would stand up, then sometimes we didn't notice that at first, then he would stand up, and then it would show the Excelsior thing, so now you can see him holding the paper down so that you don't notice the writing.
Label.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why he's holding it that direction, because it says Excelsior on the other side. And they're
Okay,
May
new
28th.
Mayflower Compact. In the name of God, amen.
Yeah. And that said May, and back in Doug's apartment it said October.
Now, he wasn't really intended to be actually guarding the camp from this point, because it's kind of silhouetted too much. But it looked good.
It was worth having the crane just for this shot. It really kind of, I don't know, tied it all together. Kind of inspiring ending is what we wanted, so...
Ever higher.
Right, ever higher in the crane shot, that kind of added. So yeah, that was a great experience for us. We learned a lot.
Thank the Lord for his blessing all along the way.